Hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8Second Gaming, and in today's video, we are going to be talking and breaking down the 3 best team comps that you are going to be wanting to run this split. Rank climbs can be a little bit tough, and you want to stack the odds in your favor as much as you possibly can, so having a good team comp is the second best place to start. But the first best place to start is the Game Leap website. Over there, we have top-level coaches creating the best, most highly informative guides that you can possibly imagine. We have legend guides, gun guides, VOD reviews, and so much more. Our coaches have been at the top ranks. They've played against the best of the best. They've gained a ton of knowledge in doing so, and they're sharing that with you. We've already helped a bunch of people hit new peak ranks, and you could be next. So click the link in the description, pick yourself up a membership, and start to improve today. But okay, with that out of the way, let's talk team comps, and we're going to be breaking down 3 of them today so that we can cover every playstyle. We're going to be doing one for the aggressive people that want to run kills, one for the zone people that want to play for placement, and one for hybrid for the people that just go with the flow. And in this video, I'm going to be assuming that people are doing this in a 3-stack because when you're solo queuing, it's a lot different. But let's talk about the aggressive one. And like I said, this is for people that want to run around and get in fights. You don't mind being in the action. Actually, you relish in it. You want to be in that chaos, racking up as many kill points as you possibly can. And for this team comp, you're going to be looking at Bloodhound, Pathfinder, and Bangalore. Now, even though in Season 16, we did see a huge hit to the scans, they're not as impactful as they used to be. Bloodhound is still in a fantastic spot. They got a little bit of a rework added to their passive, so now there's white ravens around the map, and when you interact with those white ravens, they will lead you to a team. So you have snitches just constantly laid out around the map to tell you where everyone is. Pretty handy for a team that wants to fight people, but that's not everything because Bloodhound is also a recon legend. So with the new class rework system, Bloodhound can also interact with the survey beacons that are on the map and scan to see where everyone is. The snowball's already rolling with all of the aggressive potential that Bloodhound has. Now the scans are not as good as they used to be. They're not really as impactful as they could be in fights, but Bloodhound's ultimate is just as strong as it ever was. Even though it doesn't give the cooldown reduction on the scans, you still have the speed increase and you still have the free digi threat. It doesn't matter what kind of terrain you're fighting in, a building, an open area, anything like that, Bloodhound is really good in their ultimate, and they can be taking advantage of any damage, initial knocks, cracks, stuff like that, to overwhelm and overpower a team instantly. And when you're playing these aggressive team comps, you want to be able to take advantage of damage as quickly as you possibly can. Bloodhound is such a strong pick right now, and that is why I'm throwing them in the aggressive team. But now swinging his way onto a spot in this team comp is Pathfinder. Now Pathfinder has kind of felt like the redheaded stepchild of Apex for such a long time. He's just kind of been forgotten, beat down, nobody really paid attention to him. The only people that really cared about Pathfinder were the hardcore Path mains. But finally, Respawn has shown some love to the Pathy boy, and with all of the changes that he got to his kit, he's actually pretty strong right now. You can get your team so far so quickly with all of the zip lines that you could be placing down. With how far they go and how fast they go, if you throw a zip line down, ride it, look at the care package, it instantly refreshes the cooldown on your zipline so you can throw another one down, look at the other care package that's falling down, refresh your cooldown, and just keep going. Once Bloodhound scans a beacon, you see where a team is, you can just fly straight at them with the zip lines. It is so amazing. Now, even though Pathfinder still does have some issues with his hitbox, he is still massive, he's just a Samsung smart fridge, and his grapple cooldown is a little long, he's still in a fantastic spot. Honestly, if they changed his grapple cooldown and his hitbox, he would just be stupidly broken at this point, so I can see why they haven't made those changes. But Pathfinder is great for this offensive team because you don't have to use something like a Valkyrie ult to let people know that you're coming towards them. The ziplines are a little bit of a quieter option, but still just as fast. So Pathfinder, fantastic aggressive legend. That is why I put him on this team comp. But the last legend for this comp is Bangalore. Now Bangalore was seeing a lot of shine last season with the coupling of the scan legends. Didn't matter if you threw her in with a Bloodhound or a Seer, they could be coupled perfectly and just absolutely dominate. And a few people, myself included, thought that this would kind of come to an end and Bangalore would go back to being kind of a middle of the pack legend, but that's not the case at all. She's still a very strong option, but you do have to know how to use her properly. You cannot be blocking your own lines of sight, you have to be blocking the enemies. And also your Bloodhound is going to have to know how to play in and around smokes because the main focus of the Bangalore is going to be smoke off one enemy that the Bloodhound can then go 1v1 and single out. Once the Bloodhound uses their ultimate to just absolutely absolutely overpower them, then you've turned it into a 3v2 very quickly, and you guys can clean that up very efficiently. This whole team comp relies on synergy and understanding, but once you do get that, this team will wipe the floor with the competition and nobody will stand a chance. But that is our aggressive team, so now let's move into the zone team. This is going to be for the people that don't really care about early game KP. They'd rather get to a spot in the end game position, wait for people to come to them, get some kills that way, and then go for the first place points. Now for this, you're going to be looking at Valkyrie, Crypto, and Caustic. Now Valkyrie has been on the receiving ends of a bunch of nerfs, and now even in Season 16, she cannot scan the survey beacons to give you guys zone information. She has lost a lot of usefulness, and that is why she's not seen on a bunch of team comps, but she's still fantastic for zone players. All your Valkyrie has to do is land and loot up your POI and grab a couple ultimate accelerants. Once she's able to get her ultimate and Caustic scans the beacon, you guys are able to fly straight to zone and start to lock it up before anyone else even realizes where it's pulling. Valkyrie is great at getting her team from point A to point B. All she is just a school bus at this point. Now she still does have some pretty good potential on her own. Her jetpack is still fairly decent. It doesn't last as long and it's not as useful as it once was, but it can be useful. And also her rockets are still pretty good. Again, they're not as good as they used to be, but if you do direct impact somebody with them and you're able to stun them and slow them, they can be a pretty free kill. But again, I just want to reiterate, Valkyrie, the only usefulness that she has in this team comp is to just get you guys to circle as fast as you possibly can, as safe as you possibly can. That is the only reason she's on this team comp. It's very straightforward. So now let's talk about Crypto. Now Crypto's in a weird sleeper pick in the meta right now. He was super strong in the last seasons, but he wasn't used a whole lot because the meta is more get in your face and fight. Crypto doesn't really want to do that. He wants to play on his Game Boy, but this season he's just a lot better because now he can scan the beacons to see where everyone is and give you guys a safer rotation that way. He also does not have to be near the beacon in order to do so. So you're able to see where everyone is extremely safely and plan rotations based off of that. And once you get a Crypto to endgame, his EMP just shoots up in usefulness tenfold because you can start to hit 2 to 3 teams potentially with one EMP. I can't tell you how many times I've been in an endgame situation and I'm fighting a team and then all of a sudden a Crypto EMP goes off and that Crypto team just comes in and wipes everybody because nobody was expecting it and they're able to just easily third party and win the game. If it's happened to me, it's probably happened to other people, and I'm assuming you guys understand how annoying a Crypto can be in those final circles. If you want to play zone, play Crypto. He's super strong. But when you're on your Game Boy, you want to have somebody to make sure that people cannot siege your building instantly, and that is why you're playing Caustic on this team comp as well. Caustic is the champion at holding and locking down buildings. His gas makes it almost impossible for people to push without taking a bunch of damage. If you want to run to a Caustic building, you're going to pay for it. And also Caustic can scan the new survey beacons to show you guys where Ring is pulling. That's what the control legends do, and that's also why you want a control legend on your team in this team comp. Now some people might be wondering, can you have Wattson in here as well because she's also a control legend? And yes, you can. But Caustic is a more versatile, adaptable legend. Wattson does not do well in a bunch of situations that Caustic does do well in. Wattson cannot be aggressive, Caustic can. Wattson cannot really hope in open areas, Caustic can. Caustic is just the better defensive legend, and I'm really trying to give you guys the best opportunities you can, so that's why I'm going with Caustic. But if the person on your team is more comfortable on Wattson and really wants to play Wattson, she can fit into this team comp as well. But that's our zone team done, so let's talk about the hybrid. Now when I say hybrid, I just mean you guys morph into whatever is going on in the game. If you happen to be on the edge of Ring and you want to play aggressive, then you guys can do this with this team comp. But if you happen to be in the middle of the zone, you can just play that spot and be safe as well. Now for this team comp, you're going to be looking at Loba, Wraith, and also Dealer's Choice. I'll talk about that when I get to it. But first off, Loba is just such a strong legend right now, and she's going to be very slept on in the meta, I think. Now Loba's never really been that strong must-have pick in the team comp, and that's why I think a lot of people just kind of let her slip their mind. But right now, she has a lot of usefulness with the bracelet to be either aggressive or defensive and get away from fights. She can take off angles safely, she can get into different positions safely, and the bracelet is just very versatile. But on top of that, she has her black market to help her team get more loot. So it doesn't matter if you're on edge and are running out of ammo to fight, you can just throw that down, grab that kind of stuff. Or if you're playing zone, you can then swipe some stuff from people's people's death boxes if they're fighting nearby. And Loba's also in the support class right now, so if your teammates get into a bad position, get killed, you don't have to wait around to try and get their banners. Use the bracelet, dip out, find a replicator, craft their banners, they're back in the game, you're perfectly safe to do so. Loba's a very strong pick, and that's why I have her in the hybrid, because she's just super versatile. But now let's talk about Wraith, because she's also super versatile. Wraith is another one of Legends that did receive a buff coming into Season 16, and this has made her very strong once again. Now before, all you did was see Wraith on every single team comp. It was you had to have one or you were just dead. Now it's not the case anymore, but if you are to have a Wraith on your team, you are in such a strong position right now. Her portal goes a long distance, and you can use that to either relocate your entire team into a new position for endgame, get out of certain situations if you're rotating, or be aggressive with it, because Wraith can now play very split from her team in fights and not have to worry about it. Doesn't matter what kind of playstyle you guys have, Wraith can just morph into it and be perfectly fine. She excels in pretty much every single situation, and the ultimate buff just made her that much better at doing so. But now let's talk about the last Legend on this team comp, and I did say it's dealer's choice because this really matters on what you kind of lean more towards as a team. If you lean more towards wanting to be aggressive, then you definitely want to have more of a recon legend like Bloodhound on this team. Bloodhound can still play zone and be very good in zone, but if you want to be aggressive, it's good to have them on your squad. Or if you want to be more of a zone focused team, you are going to want to pick up a control legend like Caustic or Watson. This will help you be able to play zone a little bit better. Caustic is probably the best choice here because Caustic can be aggressive, so if you do find yourself on edge, Caustic will help you a lot more. But again, it's up to you and what you guys need on your specific team comp. This is where you grow as a player and as a team, figuring out what weaknesses you have and plugging those holes with a specific legend. But let me know what team comp you guys are going to be running this season. If you guys want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Apex Legends tips, tricks, and news, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys all for watching. Once again, I'm 8 Second Gaming, and I'll see you guys in the next one.